Hello, beautiful people. It is cold AF here. Yeah, it's cold. So I am going to read. I found I've recently found like a bunch of fellow widows on Twitter and people that are like just going through things. And so I've recently found them, and one woman writes articles, and one of them is like young widow and dating or something like that. I know I have a broken nail. Won't focus. Not that y'all care. But I found it the other day and I've kept it open on my computer, and I'm gonna read it and possibly read some of it. I think it's gonna be a really good message. And I want to read it, and I want to react to it, and I want to take y'all with me. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. I had to go get my computer because I wasn't prepared. Okay, so this one, it is Young, Widowed, and Dating. And this one's called What Kind of Widow Does That Make Me? And it was written November 26, 2016 by Carrie Phillips. And it's funny I found this because it says a widow who lost her spouse 3.5 years ago, and I am like a couple months from the 3.5 point. So it's just like weird timing to me. But it says a widow who lost her spouse 3.5 years ago recently created a profile on an online dating site. She began chatting with gentlemen who naturally invited her to lunch. As with many widows who haven't dated for years, if not decades, she went into panic mode. Should she go? What does she wear? Is it safe? What will people think? As she shared her thoughts about the possibility of going on the date, she said something that stuck out in my mind. I'm even more terrified that a small part of me is considering it. What kind of woman does that make me? She says, well, let's see, my dear, it makes you. But I'm going to pause right there. So, pretty quickly after I lost William, as if you've been on the channel, you know, people started telling me, like, there's other men out there, like, you should start dating again, like, you are only young for a little bit, like, Klaus needs a father, like, they felt that they could just tell me all of these things, and the idea of all of it is just gut-wrenching, like, and it is, some of it's on, like, what would another person do, because I'm not divorced, like, I'm still in love with my husband. What does another person do to mine and Klaus's thing? What does it do to who I am? What does, like, there's all those, like, self thoughts, but also, like, you know, I don't ever look at another widow and be like, wow, they moved on fast. Like anybody that finds happiness, it's wonderful, like, but when I think about people looking at me, if I were to be dating, all I can see or think or understand is judgment, which I don't think that's the case. Like, I've had so many people tell me that, like, it's okay, you know, that it's okay, but it's like, that's my husband. But this woman's response is, it says, well, let's see, my dear. It makes you honorable. You've fulfilled the till death do us part section of your vows. No one should judge you for dating or seeking people and or things that bring you happiness. You know firsthand the fragility of life. Live. Brave. It can be hard venturing out into the dating world after the loss of a spouse. I have no doubt that completing your dating profile stirred up overwhelming thoughts and emotions of not living happily ever after with your late husband. Getting through the numerous questions while reflecting on your post-loss life took a great deal of courage. I'm going to pause again. It's insane. The idea, I had a couple friends of mine, and we put me on a dating site kind of as a joke to see what, like, men's, like, terrible lines and stuff. My friends have always kind of joked that I'm, like, like I don't count in the dating field because like I'm married and not married, and so there was like, you just don't count. So he put me on there to see like what we would get, and it kind of became a joke. But then at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm laying in bed and I can't sleep because of nightmares or whatever it is, like sometimes I'll get on there and just scroll through, and it's like this guilty like I shouldn't be doing this. But I also don't want to be in my bed alone. Like I'm fine alone. I never planned on getting married. I don't ever need to get married again. But I love love, and it's just such a it's a weird, it's an awful, hard, strange place. But I do think that even doing it as a joke like that did open a little window for me to allow the idea in that should something happen or come of it, that it's okay. And I'm still dealing with that, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But that little window, I think, was a really big stepping stone for me. Curious is her next chunk. It says, you thought the days of getting to know a potential mate were behind you. You'd gone through the what do you do for fun and what qualities are you looking for questions many years ago, and had settled into what you imagined would be a lifetime of togetherness. But life had other plans. The dark cloud has lifted, though it continues to lurk in the distance, and you're looking ahead to future possibilities. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. Loving. The human heart is capable of carrying on despite immeasurable pain. We have an infinite ability to love. You know that there is enough room in your heart to hold on to the precious memories you created with your spouse while allowing space for another man. Dating doesn't mean we forget. If anything, it reminds us to live. That one hurt. Oh, I'm gonna keep reading. Optimistic. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I continue to be amazed at the light which radiates from those in the widowed community. No one would fault us for being jaded, angry, or locking our hearts away. The fact that you're open to the possibility of dating, love, happiness shows me an internal optimist that you are. Deserving. If you're like me, you weren't practicing much self-love during the thick of your grief. You probably put yourself last, ate poorly, and neglected to take care of your own needs. If someone wants to invite you to eat, for a bite to eat, allow them. We all deserve to have someone make us feel good, even if it's only a first date. Allow him to make a fuss over you, open doors, bring you flowers. You are worthy. You are human. We are not created to be an island. We seek out opportunities to be with others who make us laugh and bring joy to our lives. Missing our spouses while simultaneously dreading the loneliness often causes emotional conflict. I hope that you'll accept the date request and you'll be safe, yet carefree. Have expectations for how you should be treated, but no expectations for a second date. After getting through the worst of the storm, there is no reason not to enjoy a little sunshine. I think she's absolutely right. It doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make it less of a struggle. But I, at 3.5 years into my widowhood, am finally, I think, in a place where I can be open to the idea. I don't know what that does. I don't know what that does to me and Klaus. I can't imagine another man fathering him or being, his dad is his dad, and I don't want anybody else to. There's a lot of widows that don't have children. And there's a lot of widows that do, and I think that this is a beautiful message to hear. It kind of hits on both sides of the widow and a person looking to support a widow. It's just really beautiful. I am going to read more in this blog. This is the first I've found of it. And I will link it in the description if for any of you guys that want to look into it yourself. I don't know if I'll do more readings or not. I kind of saw this one and it hit so hard at home that I wanted to read it with you guys. And I'm really glad I did. it seems very relevant in my life right now. So I love you guys. I hope that this helped some of y'all. I know that I think that it helped me. And I love you guys, and I will see y'all in just a few days.